are a little different these days. But when it comes to banking, you can keep doing what you normally do, right from home. Bank your way, 24/7 with Scotiabank. Pay your credit card. Paying your credit card is easy with the new Scotia app. Log into your Scotia online account. Select the transfer option located to the bottom of your screen. Select transfer between accounts. Choose the account you want to transfer or pay funds from. In the Payment To field, select the credit card account you want to pay. Enter the amount you'd like to pay and slide toggle to confirm transfer payment. Download the Scotia app from the iOS or Google Play Store.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of ScotiaLive. My name is Tonya. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at Scotiabank, and I'll be your moderator this evening. So it's been a great season of ScotiaLive, and this is actually our finale, and I can't think of a better way to kick things off. So far we've gone through Ask Audrey, where you got to ask our retail head a lot of questions about everyday banking, including our customer assistance program at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. We then went into digital banking, where you learned about our self-service channels and how you can bank from home. We also spoke about getting out of debt and getting ahead. And today we are speaking about millennial banking. So this episode is hosted, moderated, ideated, fully run by millennials to speak to you, our millennial customers. So we want to talk about, planning to get ahead. What is it you need to be doing for your vision board? So Topaz is going to talk about that, and also preparing to get those big ticket items. So if you're looking to move out for the first time, you might be looking to get your first home, your first car, all of those really exciting financial firsts. This is definitely the webinar for you. So we want to welcome everyone that's joined us on Instagram and Zoom. Please send your questions in the chat box. We'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. If not, just send us a direct message on Instagram, which is at Scotiabank Jam, and we'll definitely get to you. So I want to introduce my panelists. We have Mr. Kristopher Thompson, who is a business banking Spring Financial Center, and we have Mr. Kristofferson Nunes, who we're going to refer to as Mr. UCA and Mr. Purple Cow. UCA is an organization that helps to plot students on a career path, and he goes by Purple Cow from the Seth Godin book, speaking about standing out and being your best self. So Mr. Purple Cow is going to talk to us about that. And of course, because we have two Chris's with the K's, definitely going to refer to Kristofferson as Mr. Purple Cow. So without further ado, I want to go over to the gem of the group, Topaz, such a lovely and unique name. She's going to walk us through getting ahead and what you need to put towards a financial future. So Topaz, Kristopher, Purple Cow, welcome. Topaz, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Tonya, and welcome to our viewers. Now, managing your money is very, very important as it relates to achieving your goals. The formula for smart spending is to maximize the money that's coming in and optimize the money that's coming out. Now, a short-term goal usually occurs between 0 and 2 years, right? So you can establish a savings account, and in this savings account, you can have 3 to 6 months expenses. All right, a medium-term goal is usually 2 to 10 years. Most of us want to own our own homes. We want to go back to school one day. A lot of us want to stop working for other people. We want to be our own bosses. So you have to put in place savings, a savings plan. A medium-term goal is called a medium-term goal because it's not something that's going to happen overnight. For you to come up with a deposit for a house, that's going to take a couple of months, even a couple of years, depending on your salary and how much it is that you can save. Long-term goals. As it relates to long-term goals, we need to start planning for retirement. So I got some advice from an aunt of mine. Once you start working, the very first paycheck, you start putting the money towards your pension. All right? We have to make our financial goals a reality. You make your finance yourself first. That's very important. So we usually advise persons to set up a savings account along with a transactional account. So the transactional account is where your monthly bills would come from, you pay for your various expenses, but a savings account is where you'd put money aside every month and you're going to let this money stay there. Sometimes just forget that it's there, because if you have it at the forefront of your mind, you might get tempted to spend.
And that's a very big separation, because a lot of us are also doing transactions out of our savings account, so we need to know that it's separate.
Yes, and there are fees on savings accounts, but I mean, we'll talk about that some more. Explore creative ways to expand earnings. As I mentioned before, if you are creative in terms of you're good at baking, singing, dancing, whatever it is that you do, wherever your passion lies, use this to make money for you. This will actually help you to achieve your goals even faster. Because if you rely on your 9 to 5, it's going to take you a longer time. If a pension plan from their employer, it's usually advised that you contribute the maximum amount. And another very important part about managing your money is to have a budget in place, right? And remember to leave wiggle room. So you're not going to be using your money to just pay bills all the time. You're going to have a little extra just in case something comes up. So what is your budget? A budget is a list of your earnings and expenses. So for myself, every month religiously, I write down, this is for light bill, this is for water bill, this is for flow bill, so that I can have it in my mind as to how much needs to go where. And that's very important, because if you get paid and you just spend the money like that, by the middle of the month you're broke, and nobody wants to be in that position. So we're advised to put 50% of your salary to cover debts, so you use it to pay your rent, gas, utilities, groceries, 30% towards discretionary wants, entertainment.
Hungry.
So yeah, we work hard. We have to do roads sometime. Well, not now because of COVID, but we have to
take out.
Yes, you have to enjoy yourself. And 20% towards savings and investments. That is very important. As it relates to achieving your goals, they need to be SMART. And the breakdown for SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, right? So for myself, and for others, I'm sure you've heard of the vision board. So on the vision board, you put a picture of a nice house, a nice car, a graduation cap, because these are the things that you want to accomplish. And when you get up in the morning, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, this is the reason why I work so hard. This is the reason why I'm making all of these sacrifices. This is the reason why I won't go to Dream Weekend, because I need to attain my goals.
So Topaz, can I put like Idris Elba on my vision board that's smart, maybe slightly realistic, time bound, we can get married in another year?
You probably attainable.
He likes Jamaica, he comes here sometimes.
Who knows? Isn't he married though?
Yes, I said in a year.
You probably could get someone who looks like him.
Okay, all right, I'll set up for the car.
He could be your Idris.
Okay.
All right, so you have to remember to stay on target. Cut unnecessary costs. If it is that you're spending money on something that you can do for yourself, try to do it yourself instead of giving the money to somebody else. It sounds kind of weird, but you have to remember your goals. Don't be wasting money and spending money frivolously, right? Adjust your budget as your life changes. So for most of us, when we left university, we have a student loan. So when you finish paying that student loan, I know you're tempted to say, oh God, this extra 30,000, I can't spend it, I can't go here, I can't go there. No, that extra 30,000 needs to go towards this lifestyle inflation. So a lot of us, we start off at a basic level and you get promoted, but every time you get promoted, something happens to your car out of nowhere, or you feel like your apartment is not good enough for you anymore. No, just stay within maintain the same lifestyle and put that extra money towards savings and investments. And most importantly, we need to stay grounded. As it relates to social media, a lot of us see our fellow peers, they're doing so well, they've accomplished so much, and we tend to compare ourselves to them. Why is it that Chris has so much going on for him? He has his house, he has his car, and I don't have anything. We're human. We're going to feel intimidated, you're going to feel a little down at times, but you just have to remember that everybody's journey is different.
Yes.
Everybody's story is different. And once you keep your goals at the forefront of your mind and work towards them, you can even I can probably even surpass Chris one day, because I'm consistent that we achieve and we think that is not a big deal, but we need to pat yourself on the back when you've done well. And in closing, I just want to say the race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure. So you might not be making a lot of money now, but you just have to think big and just start small, and eventually it will manifest into something wonderful.
Definitely agree with you there, Topaz. So, Mr. Purple Cow, we want to hear from you how you guide students along this line as well to, you know, achieving your goals and what they think about that. What do you share with them?
So, for my advice to any students, you know, learn to stand out. Learn to be a purple cow. And if you think about it, if you see an actual purple cow in the center of half a tree, chances are you're going to take out your phone and send it to your friend and talk about it. You want to have that same effect anywhere you want to go. You want people to talk about it in a good light, in a very, you know, good feedback as well. So you can get a next reference for a job. You could get a next promotion for a space. You could get that, you know, resume being read by somebody. Think how you could stand out.
So I'll be a pink leopard, because I love leopard print. So I'll be a pink leopard. What are you going to be?
I love the phoenix.
What color?
Have you ever seen a phoenix?
Mythically?
There you go.
Yes. So Chris is going to be a phoenix. Topaz, what are you going to be?
I'll be a blue canary.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Fancy. All right, back to you. Back to you, Purple Cow.
And thinking about how you can stand out is even thinking about how you could, you know, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself in terms of your skills, in terms of your network. So, for example, let's say you're studying, you know, business admin. You know, what other courses you could use it to make you stand out? You know, let's say you study a language on the side that make you very competitive within the region. Let's say you want to study, you know, computer science while you're doing your business admin. Or you can think outside of your school curriculum, you have YouTube University. It's very free. You know, you could learn something on the side on the weekends. How you invest in your time in terms of what you're building and nurturing your relationships. Because a lot of persons right now may not have the, you know, present moment when they're talking to somebody. Even just putting on your phone and talking to somebody, you know, it seems like a purple cow thing to do. You know, you're being present. So just being about, you know, what everybody's doing, and I think, okay, I'm not doing that. But also thinking about the foundation of how it benefits you, but also impacting others. And change is really inevitable. Somebody asked me recently, you know, Chris, what's your 5-year plan? And I couldn't answer because I don't know what's going to happen in November. We thought current was going to end by September. You know, So right now, a lot of persons are even thinking of ideas or plans. You know, we should keep our plans and ideas very agile, very flexible, because we're not sure what's going to happen. And even thinking about investing in a network, or you could rely and leverage these networks, are helpful. And then the next point is, it's not going to be pretty. It's never going to be pretty at all. You're going to see the glamour of, you know, celebrity social media persons in terms of their business, in terms of what they bought, the new office. They may get a new award for like a governor general. They may, you know, get a feature on a conference, but you don't know the sacrifice they've made. So you have to also be empathic that your journey will never be pretty. You're going to have down days. You're going to have days you may not have to pay staff. You're going to have days where maybe police send out a warrant for you for some random thing. Let's say you have an issue with a customer that does blast you on social media for something you've never done. Maybe it's not even your fault. Maybe it's a supplier fault and it slipped the cracks. It's not going to be pretty at all. But not being pretty meaning that you're realistic to your pursuit. And then what's really important is your reputation. Your reputation also from what people know you for. You know, it's called a personal brand. It's really a buzzword right now. But really and truly, it's the reputation, what people know you for. Like, are you known for the guy that's always early? Are you known for the guy that's always creative? Are you known for... So think of your reputation as something you invest in. And we do it so many ways, even in high school, that, okay, if a teacher is grouping up in class, you don't want to be in a group with the person that's going to do the work. So we've done it subliminally growing up. But knowing the real world, we kind of think we forgot, but we kind of do it. You don't want to be associated with a certain reputation. In the same breath, you have to invest in a reputation that what people want to know you for, so they can invite you to new projects, invite you to new environments and new experiences. So therefore, you can be a purple cow. For example, I did a random impromptu trip just to, have imagination of the business. I did a random trip to Guyana. Just random, like I did it one day.
Yeah.
And it's because I needed an environment to feed my creativity.
Yes.
I came back with the idea of a carnival scavenger hunt. That was the idea. But the really important part is execution. Executing the idea is really important. You can have the idea, you can sit on it, you can be inspired by it, you can see days go by. But if you're not executing the idea, you're a fraud. If you think about it, you're not really true to who you are. If you say you're offered X and you're not executing, people don't want to do business with you. So as an entrepreneur, your word and your business is key. Meaning that if you say you're going to offer services by 3 days' time, the customer should get it at least by 2 days. Exceed expectations.
Yes.
So exceeding those expectations, people are like, say I'm not Jamaican business, I'm not good customer service, and you're giving me great. They think of me as a prepper,
Yeah.
And then process in terms of productivity is an interesting thing. A lot of persons think business is the hustler mentality. Meaning I buy low, sell high, and that's a business. But if you don't have a process during the down days or something that's systematic that keeps the thing in check, you're not going to have much productivity. Let's say rain falls one day, your business hypothetically shut down. Let's say you're sick one day, your business hypothetically shut down, meaning that what are the things you've kept in place? Maybe you have an online automated process, maybe have a PA, maybe have something that keep everything in track. That also can train other persons, new members, new employees, so your business is growing. So having a process expands your productivity, meaning that more money coming in, you can handle more staff, you can handle more expenses, more responsibilities, but also it gives you time to breathe and say, okay, I can go out and think as an entrepreneur, create new ideas and come back and execute. So for me, it's all these things that encompasses an entrepreneur. What I mean by all these things, it's nothing is more important than the other. And then what a lot of persons don't think about for entrepreneur is the importance of your cash flow. Since the pandemic, a lot of cash flow has been, decreased for a lot of companies. So now they have to think, how can I adapt, previous point, to maintain, oxygen in your business? How can I get more revenue stream coming in? What product bundles I can launch? What new ideas and products I can launch in the marketplace? And think of your time right now as an entrepreneur, especially a young one, to experiment with ideas. Meaning that some ideas you may have that you think people don't want, try it. You're not sure of the feedback, try it, get the feedback, pivot and launch again. A lot of people may think a market is saturated. Try it. Get the feedback and go again. Recently, I saw somebody on Twitter got him bashed to start a resume company.
Yes,
and they're talking about, Jamaica, these people Jamaica not pay for that. But if you think about, one, the principle of what people know you for, he's a known English teacher or lecturer. That's a good reputation to have.
Yes.
Two, it's the premise of cash flow coming in. I'm sure to him as an English lecturer, one salary from a processes, meaning over time, maybe he's not going to be the one that's going to write all the resumes. Maybe he's going to hire more employees, more writers, and just keep everything in check like a process. So now he's maintaining that goal. He's not stressed out, and he can achieve these things that Topaz spoke about, like car, house, land, And for me as an entrepreneur, it's really about the discipline. End of the day, discipline, meaning that not every day you're going to get up and feel motivated. So having the processes do help.
Right, so thank you guys. I think that was a great start. Speaking a little bit about how we can pivot in this new era, how we keep disciplined and stick to the goals and the things that we want to achieve. So I'm really eager to get started on the questions. I know we got some video submissions from you, the viewers. So I think we want to get started with that. And first up is Samantha. Let's hear from Samantha.
Go. Hi, I'm Samantha, and this is just a very quick question to find out if you have any interesting IPOs coming up for young individuals like myself.
Interesting IPOs. Samantha wants to expand her territory.
Definitely. Hi, Samantha. So that's an excellent question. We actually have offerings and partnerships from time to time with companies who would be listed on the stock exchange, along with companies who want to list on the stock exchange. So you can come in at any of our branches, speak to one of our investment advisors, and we'll be happy to assist you not only with IPOs and APOs, but other products that could help your portfolio to be a more rounded one and holistic.
Okay, great. Next up is Shaquille. Let's hear from Shaquille.
Hi Scotiabank, good morning. My name is Shaquille, and I would like to know if taxes are applied to your retirement accounts and what are the interest rates for these said accounts. Thank you.
So Shaquille is thinking of taking your advice, Topaz. He's starting early. Day one, he's very young about his retirement. Who wants to tackle that one?
All right, so another excellent question, Shaquille. So there are two options available that we offer through our Scotia group. So through Scotia Insurance, we have a Scotia Bridge. So that's a pension plan. So Shaquille, if you don't have one with your current company or employer, we'd actually invite you to come in to speak with us to get started now. That is actually a tax-free instrument. So you have the benefit of that funds is actually pulled before taxes are applied to your salary. Scotia Investments also has retirement funds that you can consider as well for long-term horizons, which, as Topaz would have mentioned, is a goal for long-term, over 10 years. We offer that as well. So you can come in and speak with one of our representatives, whether investments or insurance, we'll be able to assist you.
Okay. All right. And next up, we have Ashley.
What do I want from my bank? I would love for a bank to be able to advise me on how I can achieve my long-term goals. Say, for example, I may have a car loan, a credit card, and currently get paid to that one institution. I would love to be able to get some advice on how owning a home or any other long-term goal that I may have would be achievable for me. What do I need to put in place? Should I be investing, or should I create a different type of savings account? Should I think about a checking account? Just want to know the benefits of the different products and how best I can save my money to be able to achieve the goals.
To achieve our goals, okay.
Okay, this is a very good question. We all, as I mentioned before, achieving your goals has to do with you managing your money. So my advice to our viewer here is to save. So basically, I prefer when customers come in, so I can take a look at their expenses, so I can know how much it is that they need to save, how long it's going to take them to save.
Yes.
So it's done on a case-by-case basis, but it's very important to save, as I mentioned before. If it is that you want to invest, that's also good as well. That's very good, as a matter of fact. But as it relates to achieving your long-term goals, you have to put in place some saving plan.
Discipline savings plan. All right, so we're going to take some questions from our Zoom and IG audience. Jerome from Instagram asks, how do we fix our credit?
Right. Good question, Jerome. So the opportunity exists if you still have facilities that you'll be repaying with a credit card, a mortgage, a loan. Continue to service those debts and obligations in a timely manner. If it's a case that you may be new to credit facilities, you can come and speak to us about even having a credit card. You can use that for your day-to-day operations, whatever it is your expenses are, to help you monitor and track those as well. That will help you to build your credit over time.
Okay, great. Regina Murray from Zoom wants to know, how can I set up a transactional account? So she's definitely listening to us about that difference between savings and transactional accounts. So who wants to take that one?
Sure, I'll take that one. As it relates to setting up a transactional account, it's the same documents that you need for a savings account. So the basic documents are proof of income, we need proof of address, we need your ID, and we need 2 references. So once you have these documents, you can come in and we can set up that transactional account for you. If it is that you had a savings account, we can now attach your card to your transactional account so that you can start using that to pay your bills and save in the savings account.
Lovely. All right, Dylan from Instagram. What's the safest option for medium-term savings, 1 to 5 years, if I want to get best interest? Who wants to take that one? Chris?
For that one, Dylan, I'd recommend a mixture in your portfolio. Medium to long term, start out with your savings. That's the short term, as Topaz would have mentioned. The first 6 months you should be able to capture for the unexpected, unpredictable expenses, just to have that accumulating. Thereafter, you can look to transition those funds in a longer term instrument that you may be able to earn higher interest as well. But a mixture is really important, not just for the savings but the investment. But start small, start with the savings, you'll be able to matriculate into investment earning instruments as well.
Okay, Nardia from Zoom says, I just received my new debit card. How do I activate it?
Big up and congrats, Nadia. Looking forward to go shopping with you. I presume it would be the MasterCard chip card that we have, our new debit card. Right. So you have varying options. Right. So if you're unable to visit branch, you can actually call through our contact center and we'll be able to have it activated for you. You would be able to set your PIN over the phone as well, completely secure. Even at the ATM as well, you'd be able to have it.
And that's a new feature, you know, so you're doing it at the ATM, that's a new feature.
So if it's a case at any point in time where you'd actually like to have your PIN changed, you don't need to come in to have that done anymore. You can actually visit any of our ATMs and the option will be there to have that update made.
Okay. Awesome. Dylan asks, how do I start an investment account without a big lump sum? I'm just starting out.
Okay, Dylan, that's a very good question. You might not have a lump sum or a large amount to start an investment account. My advice to you is to start small. So you'd open a savings account, and in the savings account, you'd put a particular amount. And when you reach a lump sum that you can use for investments, then you'll then transfer the money over.
So you can pretty much start with, you know, regular retail Scotiabank, you know, maybe doing an automatic savings plan, and then you can transfer to the
just have to be consistent.
Okay, got it. We have some comments. Marielle Wade on Zoom says, very, very substantial tips. Thank you so much, Marielle. And Zara from Instagram has a shout out for Scotia Bridge. She says it's a truly amazing investment. Thank you so much, Zara. We're glad you are happy with the product. So Renee wants to know, how do I start up a savings account with you guys?
As I mentioned earlier, the documents are pretty simple. Proof of employment, proof of address, your ID. So you'd come in and one of our service reps or loans officers will be more than willing to assist you with opening a savings account.
Okay, and you also need your TRN and so forth. Okay, great. All right, so Conroy Ford from Zoom says, if I'm in my late 20s and I have a lot of debts already, some of which end in 2 or 4 years, do you have any recommendation for a person such in a position? For example, do you think debt consolidation is wise in this instance?
That's a very good question, Conroy. This is really case by case, Tonya. So this is something that we'd look to discuss with Conroy to find out what are your objectives. We'd also look into the lifespan remaining for the loans, the maturity dates. Why? Because typically, at the start of a loan, you may find that more goes towards the interest less to the principal. If you're closer to the end of that loan, you'd have more going to the principal. So it may not be in your best interest to have it restructured. But dependent on where you are in the life cycle of that. Even now in this time during COVID, we have our customer assistance program, which is something customers can consider. So if you've been affected where your income would have been decreased, you can come in, speak with us just to see as a whole best we'd be able to restructure it to give you a more manageable and affordable monthly payment. You'll be able to breathe easier at the end of the month as well.
Okay, so we have another one from Zoom. This is from Renee McDonald. Lots of Renees today. Hey, Renees. What advice do you have for young entrepreneurs who are trying to secure a loan? Some of us don't have job letters or pay slips. So that's for the self-employed. How do we treat this?
Right. So for freelance, the recommendation I'd give is to have your business formally registered.
Yes.
You know, go to the Companies Office of Jamaica. Whatever your passion is, don't view it as small. Small things lead to great things, magnificent. As I would have said before, even Jeff Bezos starting out in the garage. You know, get that business registered.
From Amazon, I know he has these amazing structures in Seattle. He has these spheres that look good.
So get that formalized, and you can even come in to speak with one of us as business banking officers. We'll be able to help you. Recommendation, having an accountant to work alongside as well. You know, passing all the funds through the business account is crucial as well, because in the long term for your plans, whether it be a commercial property that you may be considering, we would assess the income going and passing through that business to see as the whole viable it is to extend to you. So have that separation. You don't want a paper trail, precisely.
Okay. All right, we have another one from Zoom, this time from Jodianne. So good credit is needed to make certain financial moves. So here are my questions. How does someone that has bad credit rebuild their credit rating? She has 3. Number 2, what's considered to be a good credit score? And number 3, does Scotia offer credit building products?
Okay, very interesting and very important question, Jodianne, because in order for you to actually get a loan from any institution, they're going to do a credit report, and it can adversely affect whether or not you can get this the different facilities.
Yes.
If somebody has a bad credit, it's going to take some time to rebuild. All right, and at Scotiabank, we look at it on a case-by-case basis, right? As it relates to having a good credit score comes about by paying your bills on time. And for persons who are new to borrowing, we usually recommend taking out a credit card, and this will help you to build your character so that we can take a look and see how are your spending habits?
Yes.
Do you pay your bills on time?
Yes.
And then this will contribute to you having a good credit.
Okay, yes, understood. Amanda from Instagram, how can I safely save my money in a way that I can access it if I want, but not every day, to make regular withdrawals from it?
I know that feeling of temptation, Amanda, having the savings right there. But we offer that option as well. You know, for the savings account, you know, Topaz would have made things. So I'd recommend you having accounts established separately. From there, we can actually have a pre-authorized savings plan in place, where from the transactional account, we have a particular amount going to the savings account each month. You have the option as well that you can have the savings account removed from the card. So when you go to the ATM, you won't have that temptation there to pull the money.
Yes.
So that's available as well.
Okay. Hillary Birch from Zoom says, I have a son who'd love to open an account. Why should I choose Scotia when there are so many others out there? So Hillary, you're asking us to be specific and write you a love letter for Scotia. Who wants to tackle that one?
Well, for that...
Go ahead.
I know. All right, so...
You have to woo Hillary, you know, Chris. So remember, you're wooing
so
Hillary right now. One son.
I would hope for that son that you're grooming to be the excellent young man I know he will be, that you would have an account established for him. Even though we have a Scotia Mint campaign for our toddlers, that helps with back-to-school scholarships as well.
Yes.
So we have $150,000 that's geared towards giving someone to assist them with a Scotia Mint policy to help that child for back-to-school expenses. So that's one of the many reasons. Even so, we used to have the piggy bank system, but that's a bit old school. We now have the virtual system. You would now be instilling in that child the reason for saving, the importance, grooming them from early, showing them, okay, I give you $50 for lunch money, as Topaz would have mentioned. You may spend a $20 sweetie, but try to save a $10 or $20 out of it. So that's a way that you can actually help to guide them. So that's something you should consider.
And he can grow into the account, of course, as he gets older, you know, and take other products. He might expand into investments, you know, move up the wealth ladder. He'll expand and grow
Also,
with us.
Well, the mom wants to know is how she can get an account without a proof of employment. Like, what's that plan?
But he's young, so
Use hers.
So use her as a reference?
So mommy, you would be used as that primary source of income. You know, let's have the TR in place and the birth certificate, because we'd understand, we wouldn't expect a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old to have a driver's license or have a job, right? His job is to make sure that you're busy.
Okay.
So that information we'd use from you, mommy.
All right. Anithia from Zoom says, I have a savings account with Scotia, but I also would like to add a US dollar account. Are there different requirements to do so from the regular Jamaica savings account?
No, the requirements are the same, but for a US account, our initial deposit is 100 US. So I advise her to come in with her documents, which we said before, job letter, ID, TRN, proof of address, and 100 US.
So I have a question, right? So if I'm a current user of, you know, Scotiabank and I want to move over to the US account, can I do it online?
We're actually getting there, something that's being piloted, so stay tuned for that. But we'll have that in the works soon.
All right, no problem. I'm sure that question will benefit her.
All right, and I think this might be our final question in this segment. I think this might be something that's in development on the way.
So it's still in development, but you can actually call in at any time, Miss Knight, just to have that information given us. Have your Scotia Mint policy number ready. We do our regular verification, and we'll be able to provide you with that information. You can call through our contact center, and we'll be happy to assist you.
All right, great. So I think that was a great first set of questions. We're going to get back to the presentation itself. So now that we've heard a little bit about goal setting and managing your money towards that, we want to talk about the big ticket items, the big woman purchases. Yes. So how do I save or put towards or get in my first house, my first car? I might want to start a family. Babies are very expensive, right? Right? Very, very expensive. He just welcomed us on. He has a small cough, a purple cough, lavender cough. Very, very expensive. So tell us a little bit about, loans and going for those big ticket items.
We don't want it sooner rather than later.
Yes.
And, one of the things that would have mentioned, Topaz would have alluded to, credit cards. Now, oftentimes persons may fear as to how it is that a credit card can really benefit them, concerned about the interest rate and such. But the credit card is an instrument that you can use to work for you, whether the benefits or even building good credit history as well.
Right.
So that's something even for your monthly obligation. Say you were used to pulling money from the ATM each time you wanted to make purchases at a grocery store, but for whatever reason you throw away the receipt. The credit card would be there for when you use it at the grocery store. You would say, okay, at the end of the statement, I went to this supermarket 2 or 3 times for the month. I would have spent this amount. You'd be able to analyze better, as Topaz said, for the budget. You'd be able to know, pinpoint, how much do I actually spend? How much do I want to spend? So it's a better tracker as well for your expenses.
And it's a cool instrument that we can use to, get rewards.
Definitely.
I'm a big fan of, sorry for the self-plug of the Aero card.
Yeah.
I use my Aero card for everything because I want those points.
So you have your travel benefits.
I want my points.
Right, and you can even use those points locally at some hotels. You call in through our contact center as well, and you have those benefits can help you to book a staycation.
And you have the gold for supermarket too. Yeah, gold for supermarkets.
The gold card is available for that as well.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Right. So the next thing that we're looking at is getting a loan. So while you'd have a credit card for your regular everyday expenses and managing, getting a loan you'd want to move towards bigger items, whether it be a motor vehicle or even higher education. But first we'd ask you to look on your credit history. That's something that we'd assess for whatever it is you're doing, credit card, loan, mortgage, you name it. I would ask you to look into your credit history. There are 2 institutions that we have locally that if you're concerned about your credit, listeners, you would actually be able to approach them. You're entitled to 1 free credit report annually. So that's something per institution, right? So that now, before you come to us, you would be able to look at all your debts, looking at the monthly payments, being honest with yourself. And similarly as to how you would list those expenses, look on the assets that you would have, whether your cash, your savings, your salary, all of those things you would consider. And that leads us to the next point, the big one, the mortgage. The big
mortgage,
M in the millennial moves. Yeah, man, the big M. Right, so this may be the most expensive purchase that we make in our lifetime.
Definitely.
Yeah, so this is something to consider. Home ownership is something that as millennials we aspire to. Right? You need to consider, okay then, I want to make a purchase. What am I looking at in terms of a deposit? Typically, you may find that a deposit required will be about 10%. In some cases, it can even be 5%. It varies. But that's something you'd have to look into. Being realistic with yourself. All right, I'd love a house maybe by Cherry Gardens or up on the hill, Long Mountain. But what can I afford now? It's important to remember that your first house may not be a dream house, but it's still a start. And in purchasing that now, as we see in the market, the values are increasing. So you have
plus there are
equity
lots of
over time.
options because you drive around, you guys see construction pretty much everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in looking as to what you can afford, important point is to become pre-qualified. Now, how do you get pre-qualified? You can visit any of our branches and speak with a personal banking officer, and we'll be happy to assist you. So we just ask you for some particular information regarding your income, your expenses. We'll be doing a credit check as well, but you'll be able to walk out with a pre-qualification letter. So then you'll be able to contact a realtor, a certified realtor, to say, in the market, after you have your savings accumulated for your deposit, all right, this is what I'm considering. You'll be able to help them find something for you. Similarly to having a lawyer along the way. Don't take it for granted that, oh, I can read through this and it's fine. They are there to guide you. Their expertise is important. So have them along the way to guide you through the steps. And
as well as for the other fees that may come along, you know, the commitment and the closing costs.
Right. So while you may have the deposit being about 5 or 10%, a general rule of thumb would say, based on the price that you're looking to purchase, try and save maybe about 20-25% thereabout. Why? You'd have other fees to consider. Stamping fee, even though it would have been recently reduced to a flat amount by our government to $5,000. Transfer taxes would have been 5% of the property price. It's now 2%. You have your registration fee, your sale agreement fee, legal fees as well, which can range from maybe 1 to 3%. But these are areas which you should consider, not just to have the deposit and then when you're in the transaction, you're saying, but where is it I'm going to find the cost for closing this sale and getting the keys to my home. So this is something that you should take into consideration.
We have to be realistic about this type of goal. You have to put down the money to get into covering
so
every
being smart,
angle.
similar approach as Topaz would have mentioned. Being smart when you're setting this goal.
Because you don't want to be derailed by saying, you know, boy, I never know that this was going to cost this much. And it's also good, I think, to ask the cost from your bank up front, like, you know, what are the various fees that you have, so you have a clear, no rose glasses, you know, vision of what it is you need to spend.
Even in our pre-qualification letter, we'll be able to provide you with a breakdown of our fees. Right.
And we also at Scotia talk to NHT.
Definitely.
Yes.
So we have that option available where we do joint finance mortgages.
Yes.
Where you're concerned about how much is it that I'll be able to access with NHT. You don't have to go to them through that program that we have at Scotia.
Yes.
We'd actually be able to approach NHT on your behalf to find out how much it is that you're eligible for.
Another thing, Chris, sorry to cut you, but NHT does have additional funds that you can get to help
assist in closing
fees.
costs, right? So that's a point to note as well. So your contribution as well can help you along with the closing costs that they would assist you with a percentage. Typically 5% of the amount they would be able to assist you with.
I like that one-stop shop.
Definitely.
So I think we might have up on screen a sample mortgage. You want to talk us through that, Chris?
Sure. So about 15 million if I'm looking to make a purchase for a property of that amount. Say for this case, we'll be having 5% for the deposit. You'll be looking at about 750,000 there. So the balance remaining was split in two portions. Now NHE offers a maximum of 6.5 million per
person. If you buy it together, you get more.
And the interest rate at the highest will be 4%. Now, this is subjective based on your income along with where it is that you're working, because government officials and workers may have discounts applicable, So 6.5 million for NHE portion, and we're looking at about 7.75 million for the remainder through our BNS portion. At our interest rate of 6.99%, we'll be looking at a monthly payment of about $51,509. Estimated NHG portion would be about $31,032 thereabout. In total, we'll be looking at about $82,600 as a ballpark figure for a $15 million property.
The time is right. As we said, you know, we have concessions in the market with NHT. The costs are lower, stamp duty is lower. So the time is probably right for you to start saving and put it towards this big M. It's the time to buy if you can. Okay, Chris, I'll be checking you after this. We have to talk about that. So, okay, so I'm glad that we kind of got that big M out of the way. I also want to talk about, you know, perhaps getting a loan to start a business. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, emerging entrepreneurs. You know, we're going to ask Purple Cow to jump in at some point as well. But just talk to us about, you know, the tips of starting those with, you know, financially.
Right. So many times we would have the mentality to say somewhat of a hustle. So we have a plan to say we'll buy this and we sell it back for this, but we don't have it formalized. So this is a key component when you're looking to go into business. First thing I'd recommend to young entrepreneurs, have your business registered. So visit the Companies Office of Jamaica. Don't ever think that your idea is too. After having that company registered, visit us so we can have a business account established for you. It's very easy, so it's something that you should look into as well. That now will help you to separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. Along with the savings, definitely. So that's something that you need to find that balance in. So you're having every dollar, whether it's a case that you have a job and they pay you cash, ensure that it passes through your account. So at the end of the day, we can assess after you move from a startup phase, all right, and this is the income that would be derived over time. This is good, it's consistent. The cash flow, as Chris would have alluded to, Purple Cow as oxygen.
You should call him a cash cow. That's a good manifestation.
So that's important. And, you know, treat yourself as an employee. So even if you're to get you normally pay yourself $100,000. If you get a job and it pays out to be $300,000, be disciplined and pay yourself $100,000 again. Use that $200,000 and find ways to reinvest into the company so you can expand and grow. That's important for your retained earnings in the company if you want to see it flourish. You have to make the sacrifices from early. So that's a crucial component. In doing so as well, always look to have a certified accountant to help you along the way. What this does, an accountant can help to provide you with insights that you as a layman may not see. So in terms of the expenses that you may have, your debtors, your your suppliers. Am I paying my suppliers sooner than I need to? Am I collecting too late? Those things will help to identify the mismatch, and accountant will help you to identify ways to grow your business and make it more efficient and productive.
So not because you're personally good at Excel, mean that you should do
right. Don't take it for granted.
Okay.
Don't take it for granted, because at some point you'd have to step out of the business to help it grow. You can't manage everything: the accounting, the marketing, the public relations, the sales. You'd have to find time to separate. So in that time of separation, you'd be able to.
A lot of millennials, Chris, yourself, you're definitely looking into going into business for yourself. You might not want to work for an organization, but it's good that we have these tips that can be applied not only for the entrepreneurs, but also the persons that are gainfully employed to organizations. These are things we can all use.
And even in the vision, just to ensure that you have a business plan, Topaz would have mentioned a vision board. View the business plan as a vision board for your business, where it is that I would want my business to go. It's something to think on long term. We're in unpredictable times, but having a plan is better than not having one.
So now that we've spoken about the big M, the loans that we can take to our advantage, I also kind of just want to get some tips, Chris Prepico, from you. So I have to go to Prepico from you on what advice would you give to millennial entrepreneurs?
Overall?
Yeah, just give us your top tips for
Top tips. Have a mentor. I believe in standing on the shoulders of giants. Other business persons that have inspired you, that you look up to, are persons you can learn from. So mentorship is good. Your mental health is really important. I feel like we've avoided or neglected that aspect as a young entrepreneur, because you can just work and burn out and not have nothing to give. So have your down days, have your slow days, I call them. Just to recoup, refresh, recharge, and come back again well creative. So your mental health is key. Keep it in check.
Yes.
Have a talk with a friend, have a walk outside in the morning.
Especially now that we can't,
put your phone on airplane mode, so you don't really feel that need to see every notification. And that kind of brings the boy into social media, because a lot of persons are buzzed on social media, meaning that they see an entrepreneur post something and they feel like it's real, but it's just a highlight reel. Rarely you see anybody kind of post their failures. So you have to understand that it's really their highlight reel alone they're posting. So be objective in terms of how you view social media. And the next thing is time management. How do you manage your day to maximize revenue for your company? Are you answering calls for customers that will make you repeat customers over time? Are you answering relationship with meetings with stakeholders, clients that at the end of the day will bring money to your company? And there's a difference between cash flow and profit. Cash flow is coming in the company, revenue over time, like subscription models, all these things, but profit is, of course, revenue minus the cost. So over time, what are the costs going out? Are you paying staff, rent? Do you have an online automated system in terms of, are you paying a .com site every month that comes out every credit card? Are you paying a online virtual session like Zoom, because over time maybe you want to connect on a premium profile and that's a come out? These are costs LinkedIn. As a young entrepreneur that and LinkedIn Premium, we want to network with people, but these are small costs that add up over time. So don't look up these costs as I can pay it easy, because things can happen. So time management is key, is very important in terms of how you maximize the time, how you maximize the money coming in, money coming out, and overall you maximize relationships. So those are my top tips for any entrepreneur.
And I love, this is definitely, as the topic says, millennial money moves, or millennial entrepreneurs, the ones that are employed, millennial students, you just graduated, definitely some good tips that we have going on here.
We try.
So with that said, we want to move to the next batch of questions. So we're going to start again with some of the video submissions from you, our viewers. This one is from Marcel.
Hi Scotia, I wanted to find out how easy it is to transfer my mortgage from another financial entity to Scotiabank, and what are the benefits of doing that transfer?
Nice, okay. Who wants to tackle that from Marcel about transferring mortgages?
Okay, Marcel. We're looking forward to having you at Scotiabank.
Definitely.
And the transition is pretty easy. It's very easy. And the benefit of coming to Scotiabank is that we have very competitive rates, we have excellent customer service, and we have more than willing and capable personal banking officers to guide you along the way. Yes. Looking forward to seeing him, Marcel. Do you have his number?
I'll get it. All right, our next question is from Romario. Let's hear from him.
Good morning, Scotiabank. My name is Romario, and I would like to know how Scotiabank will be assisting young professionals like myself in securing a mortgage. What are the different types of mortgages, and which one will be best suited for me? Thank you.
Okay, Romario wants to get his house.
We all do. So that's an excellent one, Romario. So for our mortgages, we actually have one set plan, but it's case by case assessed. It's really personalized as to how it is that we'd have it set up and structured for you. In that, as we would have mentioned, it's important to come in and speak with us, one of our personal banking officers, so we can help to put you on that path through your savings, which is important, to accumulating that investment for the down payment, to the closing costs, to the steps that you need to take to get in pre-qualified. So come in whenever you can. We're available 132A Constant Spring Road, Kingston 8. Speak with any of our personal banking officers. We'd be happy, more than willing to assist you on that journey.
Chris is definitely doing a shout out to his own branch, but we want to, big up all of our
Scotiabank.
all of our banking officers. All right, so I think you said something a while ago that was really good, and I want to just take from that. You said that, it's personalized, and I love that. So you are coming to talk to Romario specifically, to Tonya specifically, about her needs and what she's looking to get. I love that.
To be real, Tonya. When you're purchasing a home, that's a personal goal, and you should feel proud. And it's important for us to be there for you to celebrate in that moment. It's a life-changing moment. So don't take it for granted. It's emotional. And at times it can be overwhelming, and we're here to help you just to stay calm, help you to see it through from start to the end.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so our next question is from Naftali. Let's hear from him.
Hi and good evening. I'm Naftali. I would like to know how important it is to have a good credit rating, and how does having good credit versus bad credit affect your ability to access a loan facility, for example, a mortgage?
Thank you, Naftali. Who wants to tackle that one?
As I mentioned before, having a good credit history is extremely important. All institutions, they now do a credit report before they lend you, because a credit report actually speaks to your spending habits. So if you have facilities that you're not paying, and you come to me for a loan, I'm going to say, but you're not paying this, so why are you going to pay this? So it's very important. You want to keep your credit as clean as possible.
So it's like your financial reputation.
Your financial
precisely.
reputation.
How do you want your financial institution to see you?
Yes, definitely.
There's also something I don't think that we look at enough, and I guess we kind of take for granted. Persons might ask us to be guarantors on loans. They might ask us to co-sign on things. I also think it's very important to remember that when you join finances like that, this is also a part of your financial history. So you really need to be very careful and certain about the things that we undertake. So definitely agreed with you there. All right, so our next question is coming from Brian. Let's hear from Brian.
Hi Scotia, my name is Brian, and I would like to know if you offer financing to outfit your new home with appliances or furniture.
Okay, Brian has a couch in mind, a stove,
fridge.
We do have a specific Scotia plan loan. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Now the Scotia plan loan can be used for buying furniture, you can use it to pay for your education, you can use it to consolidate your debts. So that is what we have. So he'll need to come in, and we can look at his income and then determine how much it is that he's qualified for, so that he can buy his new furniture.
And the AC in these hot times.
Yes.
All right, so we have some more questions. Peter Gay from Zoom. If I saved half of the target goal for my house deposit, but I'm paying student loan of say $100,000, or I have 1 year left, can I still get a mortgage, or can I consolidate my previous loans to now move to getting a mortgage?
Yes, you can consolidate your previous loans, but this is something that has to be done on a case-by-case basis. So usually when a customer is making a home purchase, there are times when we have to put all the debts together because we want to ensure that there's room for them to make monthly payments. So it is possible, but we need to look at it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, all right. Felicia from Zoom wants to know, what type of advice would you offer to someone who closed off their debts? You know, she might have been having some issues previously, but she managed to clear her debts and she's now looking to get a car. So she had some previous issues, trying to restart her life, and now she's interested in getting a car.
All right, well, similar philosophy, Felicia. Just come into us, have a discussion, and be true to yourself. How much it is that you're comfortable paying to a motor vehicle loan? Because you may be considering, do I want a new vehicle? Do I want to purchase a used vehicle? So assessing first yourself as to what are my obligations, and if I want to have this new expense and how much it will be. Am I comfortable to have this paid over a 5-year, 6-year period, whatever the time horizon is? But it's something that would be able to assist with as well.
Okay. Peter Jameson from Zoom wants to know, what's the typical term for a mortgage for someone in their early 30s? So I think he wants to know how long you might have to repay this loan. Right. What's the typical term?
30 years.
30 years. Okay, Peter, you have 30 years. All right, Chanel from Zoom, she wants to know, do we offer 100% financing for auto loans?
Right, so that's something that we actually have available. Assessed as well case by case. We look into your credit score as well. So based on that, we would say how much financing we would ask you to have deposited. Considering this as well, I would recommend always having a portion to save in the event that you may be borrowing for the first time, because this would communicate to your financial institution that, okay, I am just as invested in this as you are to lend me the money. I'm depositing maybe a 5 or 10%. I have something to lose here. I don't want to lose that. So it shows that commitment to your financial institution that I want this facility, and it helps to reduce your monthly payments over time as well.
Lovely. All right, Richard Smith from Zoom. Can I get a mortgage from Scotia for 6.99, or, you know, he's being ambitious here, or maybe even less? What's our going rate right now? And Chris, I know you had some questions, so we'll come to you as well. But let's take Richard's first. Chris?
All right, so I just previewing the question. So in terms of the interest rate, it's currently 6.99%. Similar pattern though, Mikhail, in terms of having
that's Richard. We're answering Richard first, yes.
It's similar. So Richard is asking about the interest rate along with the time frame. Right, so it's 6.99% for a 30-year period. Similar concept in terms of having those savings accumulate over time, month over month. Even if you get paid fortnightly, just the same.
No, so you're answering Richard about the rate.
Right.
So we're going to go to Mikhail now. So Mikhail wants to know, what options does Scotiabank have for millennials as it relates to mortgages, especially with down payments in mind? How is Scotia helping the majority of young people who realistically can't save 1 million, perhaps not even in this lifetime? So that's a good question. He's wondering about his own saving patterns, which I know, Topaz, you spoke about earlier, that, you know, we have to cut some things. We really have to go bare bones.
And think of ways to earn more.
And think of ways to earn more, exactly.
And this forum is actually geared towards helping people like him, giving him the information as to how to manage money. And he said that not being able to save $1 million in a lifetime, he'd be surprised. I'm sure there's something that he's good at. I'm sure he has a passion. Probably he could turn that into a business and he can make $1 million in no time. As I mentioned before, everybody's journey is different. It might take me 1 year to achieve something, it might take you 5 years. But don't give up. No matter how small your salary is, you'd be surprised when you put everything together.
He has to put it on the vision board, Topaz.
I just want to add to that point as well that Topaz made. Sometimes we may consider only cutting our expenses, but as Purple would have mentioned, find ways to harvest and harness your skills to increase your salary, because inflation may go up from time to time. The cost of living may increase. So don't just look to say, how can I cut my expenses? How it is that I can increase my revenue as well. So leverage those skills that you have.
Okay. All right, so Alicia from Zoom wants to know, what if I don't have any NHT benefits because I currently don't make contributions? I hope that's not bypassing the system. But could I still access a mortgage, and what are the interest rates? So you were talking earlier about our interest rate special, but I guess she wants to know if she can still proceed with a mortgage without utilizing NHT.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something that I would definitely still recommend to you, Alicia. Even if you don't have that contribution, I would say start now if you're able to contribute to the NHT. You can go to them and find out how you'd be able to formalize that earning, because they'd really be able to assist you. Based on their interest rates, you'd be saving with monthly payments. So it would definitely help for that. But if you wish to come directly to us, just for the entire mortgage portion, we're able to assist in that component as well.
Okay, Purple, I know you had a question earlier for Chris. You want to shoot it out now, or you want to wait?
I forgot.
That's not a millennial move, Purple. Memory can't go so early. All right, Nadine Steele from Zoom says, I'm an optical lab technician who fabricates test glasses. So congrats on your business, number one. I would like to purchase my own machines and start my little business at home until I can launch out. My question is, how can I get a loan to help me purchase my machines? Again, expanding our territory. She wants to do more.
I'd definitely love to visit Nadine, you know.
We all wear glasses on this set. I just take show off.
Yeah, but that's an excellent question, Nadine. First thing, as I said, to, have the business formalized, because we need to assess the income that you're deriving. So in looking to purchase a machine, we'd consider your financials, your income over time. Along with that, we offer partnership packages with our DBJ Development Bank of Jamaica Credit Enhancement Facility that would actually be able to help you in purchasing that equipment. So DBJ would actually help as a guarantee at a particular percentage to ensure that in the event should anything happen, they would stand as guarantor for you.
Plus, she can move up to like small business loan eventually when things start to pick up. She could also be a vision achiever. You want to tell us? You want to tell her a little bit about that as well?
So for vision achiever, you'd be able to be guided. Coaches, lifestyle changing coaches, business coaches would be able to help you to streamline your business, helping you to become more efficient, helping you to be a purple in your optical field. So it's something that you should really consider. The time to start though is now. So if you haven't already done it, then get the business registered.
All right. So Chris, you remember your question now?
Yeah, I remember my question. So it actually came from one of the questions earlier about not achieving $1 million in a lifetime. Yeah. So my question is, does Scotia offer a product that mimics the partner, informal scheme in terms of people going to a partner scheme, throw their money and get a large lump sum? Does Scotia offer that? Because I feel like as a young person, you may like something like that, and that can achieve that $1 million in his lifetime. Yeah. That's my question.
Well, through the varying arms and instruments we do, if you even consider a savings account with you constantly having that amount accumulated over time, that discipline that you'd have, Scotia Insurance through our Scotia Mint is an investment mixed with an insurance package as well, where over time that interest accumulates. And moving in further to Scotia Investments, where you'd even have mutual funds, where the funds are pooled together for other persons to gain your interest as well over time. So that's something that you can consider as well.
Awesome.
Okay, all right, so we're moving back to our Zoom and IG questions. Remember, you can send them in the chat box as well as on Instagram, Scotiabank Jam. So we're reading now from M. Legister on Zoom. She says, do I need to have a certain amount of money in my account to be eligible for debt consolidation? So I'm guessing she has some outstanding loans, but she might just have a little left in the tank. She wants to know, is there a certain qualification that she needs to have to be eligible for debt consolidation? She needs to have a certain amount of money. What does she need? I do think so. You
don't need to have any money in your account to qualify for a debt consolidation loan. What you need to do is to come in with your documents, and then we'll do an evaluation of your expenses, your income, and then we'll take it from there. Some persons even get loans consolidated, and they don't even have an account with Scotiabank. They're going through a rough financial time. They come to Scotiabank, they approach us, how can you help us? And we're there and we help them to get their financing in order. So finances in order. So she doesn't have to have any
we are for every
money.
Future protocol.
Milestones and celebrations like Chris said.
Right. Yeah, what she needs to have there's a processing fee, so that's something that
she needs to have at least that.
Yeah.
All right, so Marsha Anderson on Zoom wants to know what are the requirements for a mortgage. I think we might have touched a little on this earlier. Just you might want to just recap some of the things you might need to bring in. I know the info is available on our website, jm.scotiabank.com, but you might just want to tell her the top 3 things you might need.
Sure. So proof of income, we'll do our credit report. Also, we need your ID, TRN. It would be nice to get a sales agreement, whether it's signed or unsigned. And that will allow you to get a conditional approval. And after we get the conditional approval, we can move forward to doing the evaluation, etc. But what we need to establish is your income, your credit, and your identification documents, along with the sales price. Yeah.
All right. So Sabrina on Zoom says, do I need to have a credit card in order to be qualified for a home loan? I know we spoke earlier about jump-starting your credit and showing your history with a credit card. So she wants to know, what if she's maybe never had another facility before? Does she need to have a credit card in order to be qualified for a home loan?
Not at all, because we've actually had mortgages extended to persons who would have been first-time, whereas the first facility that ever accessed in their lifetime is a mortgage. So while a credit card would be good to have, Carlene?
Carlene?
Right. You know, it's something that we can work without. So if you would like a mortgage, we'd be able to assist you. Without a credit card, without a loan, you don't have to have that credit history. We'll assist you in that regard, assess you in terms of the affordability and how you would be able to repay.
Okay. We have another one here from Shanice on Zoom. Our Zoom audience is very active. If I had bad credit and 5 years later I want to purchase a car or a house, what would be the steps for me to do that? Would you be able to get a loan? So again, we're getting a lot of questions about repairing your credit. So let's give Shani some comfort there.
As it relates to credit, we have to do it on a case-by-case basis. We need to know, what was your situation like? What's happened? What led to you having bad credit? What measures did you put in place to correct this? So there's not a one-size-fits-all. We don't have a general answer for this question. We'd have to meet with the customer and interview them to find out what actually happened. And then we can move forward.
So you can speak to any personal banking officer, or as Chris likes to say, he's at
132 to 132, you constant figure.
Yes, Kristopher is there. All right, Melanie Walker from Zoom, she has a taxi business and she wants to know if she can, open their taxi business and open a business account.
This is an excellent question, because we do have taxi operators, even persons who would fall under the JUTA program as well, who would have established business accounts as well. You know, what I'd recommend, Ms. Walker, is just to have the business registered. We'll be able to assist you in that process as well. So don't undermine it to say, well, it's taxi, it's not something that's typical. This is a way that you can help to build your financial wealth. We'll be able to assist you.
All right, more from Zoom again, hello Zoom people. Kamala from Zoom asks, if I already have a mortgage with NHT, can I still apply for a home improvement loan from Scotia? I like these people that want new couches and new appliances, Nice festive house coming up for the holidays. So she wants to know, can she get a home improvement loan?
Definitely. She can get a home improvement loan or even a ScotiaLive if she's buying furniture.
A ScotiaLive, you want to just, explain?
Oh, ScotiaLive, it operates similar to a credit card interest rate, however, it's lower. So it's a revolving credit facility. A revolving line of credit. So she can either get a loan or ScotiaLive, but we do offer that.
Okay. All right. So Alicia Francis from Zoom, are mortgages based on a fixed monthly payment, or are there options for interest rates on the reducing balance?
All right, so to answer your question, Alicia, all our mortgages are calculated on the reducing balance method. So what you would see for your amortization schedule, which shows a breakdown over the 30-year time span for your payments, you would have a portion going to principal, another portion going to interest. So what you would find is, as the mortgage progresses, as it continues, more would actually be going to principal payments. So it would be reducing the amount for your principal balance each month.
Okay. All right. So Sasha Gay from Zoom, she wants us to recap and let her know why is having a credit card a good thing.
Right. What I would say to Sasha is, the credit card is one of the unique facilities that helps you to show that you're disciplined on your own. It's not like It's not like a loan or a mortgage whereby you may have a standing order set up, or you must have a particular amount of your salary or your entire salary going to your account. With a credit card, you have to be disciplined to make that payment each month. We have facilities in place like a variable standing order that will help you to cover the payments as well, but it's something that assesses you in terms of your character when we're reviewing you to say you want to make a home purchase, but you have your credit card and you're paying it on time, you're paying it in full each month. We never have to call it to say, hey, remember you have a payment that has been due from last week. Those things help in your favor when you're looking to access future facilities with us.
Also, our credit cards have great benefits. We have cash back, we have travel rewards,
right.
and they're very convenient.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons
You don't have
why
to
it's
walk with
good.
cash.
Yeah, you don't have to walk with
Temptation
cash.
is less to spend.
Except online. All right, so Katie and Osborne on Zoom wants to know, what's the process to open a business account as a self-employed individual?
Hi, Katie, and so similar, get your company registered. Whether you're a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a limited liability company, come in to us with your documents, your business registration, your articles of incorporation, your ID, your TRN. We ask that if you're not a Scotiabank member, just to come to us with 2 references, verbally can be communicated as well. A cash flow projection is accepted for you, or if that's a projection, even if you're just starting, or a projected income statement and opening balance sheet as well.
Okay.
Do you need your business plan?
It's recommended because then I'll be able to help streamline what you would want to achieve in the next coming years. I'll be able to better assist and see the vision of the company that you would have in place to say, 5 years time, this is where I'd like to be, and then I'll be able to help you to say, okay, then this is how I'd be able to assist you with the suite of products that we have at Scotia to assist you in getting there.
All right, so, but one thing though, like, what are the benefits of having a business account with Scotia? I'm sure she'd want to know that.
Yeah, well, mainly what I would say is having the funds separated, personal and business. From time to time, we may have funds we get from our business activities and we pass it through our personal account, but maybe a few months down the line, we're looking to have some credit facilities access, but we don't have evidence of that because it's going through our personal account. So having that in your business account, it shows, okay, then these are the true activities of the business. This is what I make month over month. And in terms of convenience, in terms of paying suppliers, if you have relations with suppliers in China, you'll be able to facilitate those wire payments online. Right, even your employees, right, you'll be able to establish payroll accounts which you'll benefit from discounted or no fees at all based on the transactions that they'll be doing as well. Yeah, so these are the things that can help. In terms of checks, you don't have to have that written again. You can have the funds transferred to them. They can always go to the ATM, pull the cash as needs be, but they don't even have to do that. They can always go online, make their bill payments, go to the supermarket, run their cards. So many benefits that are there. Everything.
All right, I think this is our last question for the evening. Amelia from Zoom wants to know, what's the maximum I can get for a car loan for a used car? So I guess maybe she wants to know the difference used versus new, what we provide.
Right. 100% financing is still available, whether new or used. It's based on the year we assess, as Topaz that I mentioned, case by case, personalized touch as well. So that's something you can look into. So don't think, okay, then this car is 4 million. I'm not going to be able to get the financing for it, so I'd have to go or settle for a car for 1.5 million. We look at how it is that you'd be able to afford the monthly payments in our assessment to say, okay, then this is a year vehicle you should consider and the price range as well.
Okay, great. Guys, I think this has been amazing. I learned a lot, even myself as a millennial, and I am now tempted to see, as the pink cheetah on this panel, what I can do, to expand my territory. I think it's really great, and I'm hoping our viewers were just as inspired. So I want to thank your panelists for being with us today. I want to especially thank our viewers for being with us, and it's been a great season, and we're happy that you've tuned in for every single episode of ScotiaLive. As we look forward to the new season, we also want to hear from you. What are the other topics you'd like us to explore? Do you want to learn a little bit more about investments? Are you interested in having that tough conversation about insurance and preparing for the unlikely and the uncertainty of the future? Do you want us to delve more into small business? As Perpico mentioned, entrepreneurship is great, and we're loving that we're having a lot of entrepreneurial questions coming at us. So we want to hear from you. So please please send us a direct message in our inbox at Scotiabank Jam. We're ready and willing to hear from you. I want to thank our Scotiabank family for being totally supportive of this, the production crew here, again, our panelists, and again, you our viewers. So thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. And as always, thank you for choosing Scotiabank.
Paying your bills is easy on the Scotia app. Log into your Scotia online account. Select the Pay option located at the bottom of your screen. Select Bill Payments. Choose the bill merchant you want to pay. Put in the dollar amount you'd like to pay. Select the account from which to deduct payment. Slide toggle to confirm payment. Download the Scotia app from the iOS or Google Play Store.